What's up everyone? Alex here with Off the Cuff Reviews. I am back again to bring you guys a special new video. This time we're going to be talking about everything that I watched in the month of August. I do apologize that this video is a little bit late, but I work a day job and it takes up a lot of my time. I really don't have much time to film and edit. Which is why I am launching a Patreon. And the reason why I want to launch a Patreon is because I am really looking forward to making YouTube my full-time career and creating content like full-time and just putting all of my time and effort into that. Into interacting with you, the people that are watching. And if you guys like anything like this where you're getting movie recommendations or anything along the lines of reviews or analyzations or anything like that, please keep an eye out for my Patreon. It will be launching very shortly. I just wanted to let you guys know that it is coming. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First movie that I watched in the month of August is Random Acts of Violence. This was the horror film debut, I believe, from Jay Baruchel. He is an actor who has been in a lot of comedies that you probably have seen. I actually really enjoy him in most things that I've seen him in, and this is no different. I love him in this movie, and I love that he also directed it. It is very, very campy. I think that all of the performances are great. Jesse Williams does a great job. But like I said, it is very campy, and there are a lot of elements that I didn't enjoy, but I do really enjoy this one. The next one on my list that I watched in the month of August is Mope. I watched this with my lady friend Ashley. I've definitely mentioned her. You can check out her channel down below, and in her video for what she watched in the month of August, you can pretty much find almost all of the same things. But Mope was pretty good. She actually recommended this one. It's a little weird, but it tells the story of a couple of porn stars who are down on their luck, and it's actually a true story. It's based on a true story. There's samurai swords. It's very strange, very weird. If you like weird shit, maybe you'll like it. The next one that I watched in the month of August was The Rental, Dave Franco's directorial debut. I really enjoyed this. You can check out my review of this, which is on my channel. The next one that I watched, I also have a review for. I did it on my podcast, but that was Host. I really love Host. I think Host was so good. I think all the performances were great. I think they just did a really good job kind of setting it up because, you know, we're all in quarantine. We all kind of are feeling the same effects right now, and they put this out at the best time, and I think you guys should all definitely go check it out. It's definitely on the shorter side. It's kind of a short film that they made into a feature-length film, but it's still not full length. Like, it's not like a 90-minute film. This is like more like 50-60 minutes, but it's definitely good. I definitely enjoyed it. The next one on my list that I didn't really enjoy that much, I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, which you can go check out in the description below. But that movie is The Wretched. I really didn't like this one that much. I wanted to like it way more. I heard some great things about it, but when I watched this, it kind of felt like it was just another run-of-the-mill movie where, you know, it's a horror movie where the teenagers have to figure it out, save the day in the end, and whatever, I'm over it. The next one I watched in the month of August was Joyride. This was a rewatch. I love Joyride. Joyride is one of my faves. It's kind of like a comfort movie because I really love Paul Walker. I love anything Paul Walker's ever done, and I definitely think you guys should check it out. I also gave that one, actually, I gave that one a 4 out of 5 just because of the nostalgia factor, but it is actually a pretty good movie, and I think it gets slept on. It's pretty underrated. The next one I watched in the month of August was Starlight. I watched this because of Scout Taylor Compton. She's the main actress in this one. The premise is a little strange. It's a little bit out there. The movie's a little bit campy, but with that said, I think that the performances are good. The screenplay is good. I just really love Scout Taylor Compton. She was in Rob Zombie's Halloween. That's how I found her. I met her at one of the horror conventions, like back when there actually was conventions. Kind of upset that they, this Corona shit, like fucked all that up. But Scout is great. She's a great, just lovely soul, lovely person. I've been following her ever since. She's great. I definitely just go check it out. It's definitely a good one. The next one I watched in the month of August was Open 24 Hours. I heard some good things about this. I definitely just streamed this on VOD. It is, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I thought everything was good. I didn't give it a higher score than that because it's kind of like a premise that we've seen before. It's like not like super original, but it wasn't horrible, if that makes sense. The next one I watched was a rewatch, but that was Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I was kind of going through it, you know how it goes. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. I mean, it's funny. It has Mila Kunis. I mean, like, what else could you need, The next one I watched in the month of August, I don't know if I reviewed this on my channel, but I definitely talked about it on my podcast, which is linked down below. This one was Tax Collector with Shia LaBeouf. I love Shia LaBeouf. Now, do I love this movie? No. In fact, I hated it. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. It's one of the lowest rated movies in the collection of movies that I've ever seen. I really hated it. I'm sorry. I think Shia's performance was good, but I just can't get behind the screenplay. I can't get behind the story. I can't get behind any of the other performances. Can't get behind the directing. Can't get behind the editing. Cannot get behind this movie at all. I think it's awful. I don't think it's awful for the same reasons everyone else is saying it's awful, but I just really, I can't with that movie. It's garbage. It's just a whole pile of garbage. The next movie I watched in the month of August was The Farewell. I watched this with my friend Logan. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I really enjoyed it. It was a good drama. I thought all the performances were good. The screenplay was great. Like, everything about this film was actually great, and it really deserves that 4 out of 5. The next one I watched with Ashley. This one was She Dies Tomorrow. I wanted to like this way more than I did. I ended up giving it a 2.5 out of 5. I kind of thought it was just okay. I thought, it's there. It exists, but was it great? No. The performances were good. The screenplay was good, but it was just boring. Like, there was just nothing behind that movie at all. It could have been way better. I think it was kind of pretentious a little bit, but it could have definitely been better. The next one that I watched in the month of August was a movie called Spotlight. This one I totally missed. Like, I totally missed that it was even released. I didn't even know that this even existed. But I really enjoyed Spotlight. I thought the performances were amazing. I thought that the storytelling, the actual screenplay was so engaging, and it definitely left a lasting impression on me. This one's on Netflix right now. You can definitely go check it out. I gave it a 4 out of 5. The next one on my list that I watched in the month of August was An American Pickle. I actually really like Seth Rogen. I know that a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't like his laugh. A lot of people just don't like his acting. They don't like his jokes. They don't think he's funny. I totally get it. I get where people are coming from, but I enjoy his stuff. Except this movie. This movie was really just okay for me. It could have been way better. I thought the editing was good, and I thought the premise was good, but the jokes were bad. It wasn't funny. The storyline just not there at all. It could have been so much better, and they kind of missed the mark on that one. And it kind of I kind of understand now why it just got shoved into our faces on VOD, because it just wasn't that good. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. The next movie that I watched in the month of August was Urban Legend. I have not seen that until I watched it. Has Jared Leto, has a lot of people in it that I actually really enjoy. I really enjoyed Urban Legend. I thought that it was fresh and exciting, even though it's older. It came out in 1998, but hear me out. I think that Urban Legend is actually extremely good. Like, it's way better than I thought it was going to be. I kind of thought I put this off for years because I didn't think it was going to be that good. And then for some reason I just heard a lot of people ranting and raving about it for like a week or two straight, and I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and check it out finally. And I finally did, and I really enjoyed this one. I think this one might just go down as a classic. It's a cult classic, I think, for the 90s. I give it a 4 out of 5. The next one that I watched in the month of August, I watched with my friend Ashley, and she recommended this one to me because she likes to get weird, and this one was definitely weird. This movie's called The Death of Dick Long. I don't know if you have seen it yet, but if you want something weird and out of the box, but also good and also funny and just crazy, and it's a wild roller coaster ride. If you want something like that will definitely keep you entertained, I definitely recommend checking it out, but you definitely should keep an open mind because it is a little bit strange. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. The next one on my list was a movie called Yes, God, Yes. Has Natalie Dyer. I love her. I talked about this movie on my podcast, I believe, so you can go check that out, but I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. The next one I watched in the month of August was The Stalker. I had heard some good things about this movie, but I didn't like it. Pass. I gave it a 2 out of 5. The next one I watched in the month of August was We Summon the Darkness. I thought it was pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. Could definitely be better. I enjoyed it. 3 out of 5. The next one on my list in the month of August was Enter the Void. Wow, that's all I have to say. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next one on my list in the month of August was Spree. I actually enjoyed this one way more than I thought it was going to. I didn't think this one was going to be good at all, but fuck. And it's so good. The premise is the premise is good, but not super original. And the whole movie as a whole is not super original, but I really enjoyed it. I think the execution is what saved it. The next one on my list in the month of August, I talked about all these movies on my podcast, but this next one was Impetigore. Really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm trying to go a little bit faster now since I've already talked about some of these, just because I want to save some time. I want to save some space in my memory card. And I've already talked about them on my podcast, so you can go check that out. Link is down below. The next one I watched in the month of August was Sputnik. This is a horror movie with a female lead, actually, and I enjoyed it, but there were some aspects that I think they could have done better on, but I did enjoy it as a whole, and it was definitely fresh and exciting. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. The next one, I can't believe, I love it. Is Steve-O's new comedy special, Gnarly. I enjoyed this one. I fucking love Steve-O. He has a special place in my heart, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. It could have definitely been better. But it's kind of like his first go at this whole comedy thing. I mean, I know he's been doing stand up for a while, but he doesn't have like a lot of specials under his belt. So it's definitely good. Could definitely be better. Some of the execution on the jokes could have definitely been a little bit better, but hey, he's fucking Steve-O, dude. He's the fucking man. The next one I watched in the month of August, I made a whole video for, but this was Peninsula. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. You can go take a look on my channel for the actual full review if you are interested in that. The next one was a rewatch. I watched this with my friend Ashley. She's so lovely. Go check out her channel. Link is down below in the description. This one was Mother. Guess what? I'm in love with Jennifer Lawrence. Who knew? Just everyone, because I've been crying about it since she came on the scene. But I fucking love this movie. That's all I have to say. Mother is amazing. It's definitely a wild ride and definitely crazy, but check it out if you guys have the chance. I think it's on Hulu. The next one on my list I talked about on my podcast, but was Baby Teeth. I love Eliza Scanlon, but I gave this one a 4 out of 5. It's just way too sad for me. The next one on my list was The Master. Stars Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour Hoffman, you name it. The best actors and actresses in the world are in this movie. Paul Thomas Anderson directing. Wow, what an amazing film. Really enjoyed it. Talked about it in depth on my podcast, but gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next one on my list was 1BR. This was a Netflix film. Kind of popped up on like the top 10 or some shit like that. I really enjoyed it. Could have definitely been better on the execution, but I thought it was a fresh and exciting plot. That's what saved this one, definitely. The performances are definitely good, but just could have been done a little bit better with some of the execution of the screenplay and some of the execution just in general. But I give it a 3 out of 5. I watched First Man as well. I gave that a 3 out of 5. I thought it was okay. Definitely not one of the better Ryan Gosling films, in my opinion. Because I think he's actually great, but it lacked a certain spark that I really come to enjoy with him. The next one that I watched was Victor Crowley. This one is like the next installment in the Hatchet series. I enjoyed it, but I gave it a 2 out of 5, just because it's a garbage film. It's just garbage entertainment. I do really love Kane Hodder. I met him once, and he's cool. He's a cool guy. I did like it though. The next one I watched with Ashley, she showed me this film because I hadn't even heard about it, but it's called Starry Eyes, and I thought it was pretty good. It definitely surprised me because I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, and it actually came out pretty good. The execution was great, and everything was pretty good about it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. The next one I watched in the month of August was La Llorona. This is not the same as The Curse of La Llorona, just to let you guys know. But La Llorona was good. Some of the execution, I know I've been talking about that. Some of the execution and the pacing of it was not good. I gave it a 3 out of 5, but could have been done way better. The only reason I gave it a 3 out of 5 is because it's way better than The Curse of La Llorona, because that was just utter garbage. The next one I watched in the month of August was Evil Dead. This was a rewatch. I watched it with Ashley. We had a movie night. We ended up watching 3 things, these next 3 movies. So Evil Dead was the first one of that night, and Evil Dead is one of my favorites. This was the remake from 2013, and what a fucking movie. I love it. I give it 4.5 out of 5. The next one on my list, we watched together. It was You Cannot Kill David Arquette. This was a documentary about him getting back into wrestling, and I fucking love David Arquette. He's so fucking funny still to this day. He has just a great personality. I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. You can definitely go check it out if you're into wrestling or documentaries or David Arquette. Go check it out. Also, his new wife or girlfriend or whatever, kind of looks like Courtney Cox. The next one on my list that I watched in the month of August was the last one, and how fitting, because this was my favorite one I watched all month. It was Videodrome. Long live the new flesh. That's all I have to say. I fucking love this one. 4.5 out of 5. Check it out if you haven't. And that about wraps it up. I didn't watch any other movies or anything like that. I don't know about this month. I haven't watched a single film in the month of September yet. I need to get on it. I've just been waiting to actually see Tenet, but I haven't had a chance to because none of the theaters are even open where I am, which kind of sucks. But I really want to see Tenet. I'm thinking of ending things tonight with Ashley. So there will be a review of that on my channel probably very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Keep your eyes peeled for my Patreon. And I will see you next time. I've been Alex. This is Off the Cuff Reviews. Thanks for tuning in. Drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Stay safe.